your grandfather's 80th birthday next month. And Hilda Makipuro is arranging a party for him. She's inviting a lot of people to help celebrate.
That busybody. She should just mind her own business. I mean, I can't see anybody actually going. Like, who from our own family would even go?
Hilda is the oldest family friend we have. And she knows how you feel about your grandfather. She's known him forever. And she believes he deserves more respect than you give him. So why not give him a good party?
Why should he deserve the greatest party ever?
Yeah, I mean, with all due respect, you three, that so-called brother of yours pretty much showed up to our house out of nowhere. I mean, he never once kept in touch with his only son. Father said he never wrote or called. And now, you think he deserves a party?
Our so-called grandfather was never there to celebrate our birthdays. Vittery, you've been more like a grandfather than he ever was.
That's nice of you to say. But don't be so hard on Oski. He's come back to make it up to all of you.
Yeah, make it up to us all right. I can't tell you what he wants to do. It's like he's going crazy. Or something.
The only one who really cares about him is Lisa. And she's as crazy as him. I think they both drink from the same bottle.
I just don't get him. I mean, why does he carry around that Hatbox all the time? The other day, I saw him coming out of the post office with it. It makes him look like a fool, especially when he talks to the old scruffy bum on the sidewalk.
I bet that box is empty, like his head.
Don't be so hard on him. What does it matter to you what's in the hat box?
Lisa thinks that grandfather's treasures are in that box.
Oh, come on. Like what? Some old marbles, so he doesn't lose them all?
Lisa has an unbelievable imagination, like all children do. She believes in everything.
I'll sure hate to see her when she's my age.
Since it's such a mystery to you about that hat box, let me tell you the story of it. Your grandmother waited and waited for your grandfather to come home after the war. He never did. She knew that Oski kept in touch with me, so she gave me the hat box for safekeeping. I don't know what's in it, and I haven't looked at it. She told me to give it to your grandfather when he finally got home. He kept in touch with me. I didn't see him again until 12 years after your grandmother died. I kept the hat box until the right time. He's finally changed for the better. I never opened it. He's the only one who knows the secret.
So the hat box is from grandmother.
Now I remember seeing her hats in the attic.
Yes, I remember her wearing hats to Hulda's parties, which are the best in town.
Here we go again.
Come on now. Hulda Makipuro is the best party thrower around. I know that personally.
How can he take part in a birthday entertainment? He's too old to have fun.
I think that he's entertaining us with his craziness.
Now, you two are perfect. It's very important to me, not just to celebrate his life, his birthday, but his coming back to the family. Well, I have to go meet Hulda, make the final arrangements. You two plan on the music for the party, and don't forget to invite Lisa. She loves to sing.
See between.
I bet that is. What is Uncle Vittery trying to do to us? He has this insane plot to teach us some kind of lesson.
Yeah. Well, I'll find Mom and Dad. That way, they know what's going on. You find Lisa and tell her the party plans.
Go find her? I want to stay as far away from her as possible. She won't leave me alone about this forever. I'd be in my room, and should be constantly bothering me about the party plans. Just like when we went away on vacation. And you know, the only thing she cares about is balloons. No, more balloons! At her last birthday party, there were balloons everywhere. On the floor, on the tables. There was no room for food. And I didn't get to eat any birthday cake because Mrs. Sallow took the last pieces, which were big enough for 3 people.
Hey. Do you remember when Mrs. Sallow went to sit down on the couch without looking and with full force popped Lisa's favorite balloon with her name on it? What an explosion! The cake flew up in the air and landed on Lisa's head and Mrs. Sallow's shoes.
The only thing she was still holding was a spoon. That was the last of the cake. What a disaster! The only thing that was good was that I was the photographer. I got some great photos of the disaster.
Well, hey, I better find Mom and Dad before Hulda and Victory get a hold of them. Make sure that you find Lisa.
Balloons, balloons, balloons.
I'm so glad that you came. You know, it feels strange to me here in this park after so many years.
Well, thanks for finding me, old veteran.
Well, you know, veterans have a way of finding each other.
Yeah. Why don't we sit down here?
Okay.
You know, the last time we were here in this spot, we were 17 years old. We climbed that old oak tree over there. And on its branches, we talked about our future plans. And boy, what plans we had, huh? You know, it seems like the next day we were in Europe, in the middle of a war, fighting for our lives so that we could be saving others, huh? Thank God we were in the same unit.
Yeah. Yaska, you know, you saved my life on that hillside.
Yeah.
You know, there was no front lines.
Yeah.
The enemy was all around us. Bullets were coming from every direction. The last radio contact was when I got hit by shrapnel.
Mhm.
And if you hadn't tied that bootlace around my leg, I certainly would have bled to death.
Yeah. Well, I kept that bootlace in my pocket all the time, and I tied a knot in it for each day that we had left before going home. It was my own ritual that I did every day. But on that day, I tied the most important knot, that's for sure, and that was to get you home alive. You know, when the medics saw you, they didn't give you much hope for survival. But I knew you were going to make it when you said, we're going home.
Well, you know, the horrors have stayed with me.
Yeah.
You know, 2 years in a military hospital didn't wipe away the anxiety and the paranoia that I felt.
Yep.
But I didn't make any friends,
Yeah.
you know, and I couldn't hold a job. I went from job to job,
Yeah.
you know, and but the only thing is I did keep in touch with my brother Vittori.
Yeah. Well, you know, it was hard for me too. There were times when I got so drunk, I couldn't remember where I was. You know, I can't drink anymore like I used to. I had, you know. So anyway, what brought you back home, Oskari?
Well, that's a long story, but what I think would help me the most was, you know,
Yeah.
when we went back to Europe and
Yeah.
visited the sites where the worst of the war took place.
Yeah.
And I, you know, talked to the people there and visited the places, and it finally made me realize that my own personal war was over.
Mm-hmm.
But the only trouble is it came too late in life for me to get straightened out with my family.
Well, the main thing is that you're home now.
Yeah, boy, I'm glad I'm home. You know, I hope we're going to have a chance to go to the old Sabu sauna and talk about old times. And
Yeah, well, we had the best of times,
We
that's for
sure
sure.
did.
We had the best of
I
times.
know it.
Ah, boy. Hey, Oskar,
Yeah.
I have my flask with me. I know you don't drink much, but I think we should have a shot for
Well,
good old times like we used to.
You know, I haven't had a drink in a long time, Yaska, but for our friendship and for getting together like this, you know, give it.
Get this. Yeah. Okay, listen, I gotta go now. I'll see you later, okay?
Yeah,
You
neck
take
at me.
care. Neck at me, neck at me.
Grandfather, here you are. I've been looking for you all day. I wanted to have breakfast with you, but you had left before I woke. I love you, Grandfather.
I love you too, Lisa. You are my favorite granddaughter, and you know why.
I know why, because I'm the only one you have. Where did your friend go? He is your friend, right?
Oh, yes, he is my best friend, Lisa. We go back to when we were about your age. And you know, someday you'll have a best friend like that too, Lisa.
Grandfather, I think that you have your treasures in that hat box, and I hope that no one can steal them from you.
Oh, no one can steal these treasures, Lisa. But you know what I treasure most of all.
What? Tell
There's
me,
you.
Grandfather.
You are my treasure.
I love you, Grandfather. Oh no, John and Matt are waiting for me at home. There's some kind of meeting. Are you going?
No, I'm going to go. I have to go to the post office, Lisa, and I have to meet a friend at Katarina's restaurant. So you run along, and I'll see you, and bye-bye.
Bye.
Well, we are finally all together so we can put the finishing touches on my father's birthday celebration. Hold on, Victory. You are the ones who planned this party. Maya and I know you are the best party planners. How about you, Jonathan? Do you know who the best party planners are?
I know.
I know.
We both know. How about you, Lisa? Do you know?
The only thing I know is I love birthday parties.
Plans are right on target. Auntie, your idea of the Finn Hall was just great. Do you know, Victory and I were invited to their last monthly meeting. As we walked in, we were greeted like old friends. Before the meeting, they had their refreshments. And on the table were a lot of goodies and a bulla ringeli. Why, I haven't had bulla since your mother made it, Auntie. What a treat. And then during the meeting, they introduced us to everyone. And Victory got up and told them that his parents were some of the very first charter members in the 1920s who helped build the hall. And guess what? I found out that your grandfather and Victory spent time there as children.
Wow. Our grandparents helped build the Finn Hall.
Yes, they did. The president told the membership he would like to rent the hall for Oscar Guskin's 80th birthday party. And they said because Oscar's thing was so important to the hall, they'd be honored to host it. And they decided there'd be no fee for the rental in honor of Oscar.
Yes, and we decided to use their catering service, which features a very special menu with coffee, cake, and bulla for dessert. And of all things, we are now new members of the Heritage Society.
Wow, that sounds great. I'm sure the invitations have been sent out already.
Oh yes, we set them out on the list that you gave us, plus Victory and I had a list put together. We sent them out as soon as we knew the location. Maya, I hope we didn't jump the gun with these plans.
Oh no, not at all. I am so glad that Victoria and you had time to do this already. I would really like to decorate the Finn Hall and have a special decorator with me. Her name's Lisa.
Lisa!
Oh, thank you, Mama. Balloons, balloons, and more balloons.
Aren't you missing something? I told you this would happen.
Oh yes, Matt. I also want balloons on each table.
Mom, did you remember to invite Lisa's special friend, Mrs. Sallow, from last year's birthday party? The cake lady who took the last pieces? She'd be good for another laugh.
I love her. She is my friend now, and we both love birthday cakes.
Are you trying to be funny, Matt? Of course we invited Mrs. Salo. And more of your friends, too.
Oh, whoa. Our friends?
Mrs. Sallow?
Matt, I have my own camera now, so I'm going to take pictures of you and your friends having birthday cake from Mrs. Sallow.
Mom, how could you do this to us? Our friends? We'll never live this down. It's not funny at all.
Let me see that invitation list.
What a reaction! I was just trying to be funny like you two. Your friends' names aren't on the list. But if they can help with the music, then they are welcome to come.
I don't think so. As long as you don't invite our friends, I will do anything.
Me too. I'll even go with grandfather to the old smoke sauna. That sauna is so old that everything is black inside. The last time I saw him come out, he was covered in black soot all over him. He was like a sauna monster.
It looks like we're going to have entertainment after all. I went down to the senior center last week and met the new program director. I like what he has accomplished since he took over. I mentioned the fact of Oscar's party, and he said he'd be glad to MC it. He's also written a song called Celebration of Life, which I thought would be nice to open it up with. But more importantly is John, Matt, Lisa, you got the genes from your grandparents, so you can do the Happy Time song. Matt, John, you can take care of the, what's the music?
No problemo. We'll do it.
Just no friends.
John, would you go see who's at the door? I don't believe we're expecting anyone else.
There's someone here looking for grandfather.
Ah, what has he done now?
What he done was done 40 years ago. Mr. Oskari Koskinen had an appointment with me over an hour ago at Katarina's. He gave me this address in case he didn't show.
He's got a thing for not showing, I bet.
Our daughter Lisa just told me that she was just with him, and he was on his way to Katarina. You must have just missed each other.
Very well, in that case, I'm going back to Katarina's. And this is important. If he should come back here, please tell him I'm waiting for him at the restaurant so we can meet in privacy. Thank you all and good evening.
Good evening.
What is that?
Who is this man? Why does he need privacy? I do not like this at all. Vittori, do you know what's going on here?
No, all I know is what I know. And the party goes on.
Good evening, everyone. My name is Cameron John, Master of Ceremonies. As we are waiting for our guest Anu to arrive, allow me to welcome you all to celebrate Oskari Koskinen's 80th birthday. This is my first visit to this historical Finnish hall, and I feel honored to be here on this special birthday celebration. We have a very special program for you all tonight in celebration and honor of Oskari Koskinen. This is the celebration of life. So with that thought, Markku Hilbrook will teach you this song, Celebration of Life, as an opening song for Oskari as he arrives with his son Antti. You'll find the words on your program, page 8. Please sing along.
I'll play the song one time through and then we'll sing it twice or 3 times.
I thought we came here today to celebrate my father's birthday. Instead, we're here to celebrate his life. I have sad news to tell you. On the way here, Oskari fell ill. I rushed him to the hospital. When we arrived, the emergency room, they wheeled him in right away. But even with all the modern medicine, they were not able to bring him back. The doctor simply came out and said, "I am so sorry." Vittori, will you come up here now? You always have the wisdom to handle these things.
Oskari was on his way here to celebrate with all of you. He planned to tell you how important this past year has been and how honored he was to be back in the Finnish hall again. I have here the speech he wrote. I cannot begin to tell you how grateful I am to be able to come from life's darkest tunnel to the light, to find my family, my home. My hometown people are still here just like I left them over 40 years ago. This dark tunnel kept me away from the person that truly cared for me, my wife. Her love, spiritual strength, and determination to keep going were remarkable. She was here for the strength and stability for the family when I was not. The only consolation I have now is that her spirit is with me, and her understanding and loyalty was always with the family. Oski was finally ready to celebrate life again. This party is what we need now. Let's celebrate.
Oscar's spirit is with us. Let us sing.
die before the party. I think he did that on purpose, so he won't have to listen to us sing.
Nah, he did that like always. You know, exiting before facing the situation.
We have very little time in life to make a difference. When my father finally came home, he was not able to come with open arms and say, "I'm home, I love you," or "Can you take me as I am?" I did not give him that opportunity. He knew I did not welcome him with kind words. I was distant, just like he was. He was afraid to open his feelings, like I was afraid to open my soul. But he knew we cared for each other as a family. That was enough for him. But something unexplainable happened the night of the party. Before we left the house, we finally had a chance to open up to one another. It was very emotional. I told him that my behavior also affected you two. Had I accepted him, then you would have accepted him. Then you would have had the opportunity to get to know him better. He said not to worry. All is well now. He also said, when I finally make my speech at the party tonight, I can embrace my family with love.
Dad, seems like the only one of us who really knew him was Lisa. I guess I have to be nice to her now, because her spirit is looking over her shoulder.
Maya, have you seen Hulda and Victory?
They just drove in the yard as we were coming in. I talked to Hulda earlier, and she mentioned that Finn Hall ladies were so pleased that we used their catering services. And under the circumstances, it was a wonderful celebration.
Hello, Maya. Hello, Victory.
Hello.
I am so glad you were able to come here this afternoon. I would like to thank you for making the party so special and for handling the situation well.
Thank you, Auntie.
We have received many sympathy cards from guests saying how unforgettable the party was.
Yes, friends from the Finn Hall have also called us to say that they were really taken back by Oskari's passing, but that they thought the celebration was a good sending for Oskari.
I made some lemonade and cookies earlier.
Oh.
Lisa and Matt, would you please serve the refreshments?
John, Matt, Lisa, I'd like to take this opportunity to thank you for the wonderful job you did on the party. Your songs made many people emotional.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Give me a second. I have something to share with you.
Thank you, Matty.
The Hatbox. The mysterious Hatbox. This Hatbox has been this family's constant conversation forever. I do not know what's in it. Your grandmother gave it to me before she died. Told me to hold on till Oscar came home. He gave it to me one day before the party. And now I'm giving it to you.
Dad, can I open it?
Yes, Lisa.
There are only old paper clippings and pictures. What are they anyways?
Dad, here's a letter with your name on it.
Maya, this is too much for me. Would you read this, please?
My dearest son, Antti.
My dearest son Antti, I am writing this letter to you to be opened after I am gone. I also wrote a personal letter to your dad with wishes that the Hatbox and this letter would come to you when the time was right. Son, treasures we cherish are ones from the heart. No riches, no titles, no accomplishments are as important as that which comes from the heart, soul, and spirit. What the world gives us, it also takes away. I hope that when you read this letter, your father has come home. He is a good man with a heart of gold, but strong-minded with sisu. We were childhood friends. We grew up together with wonderful memories. We got married and you were born, Auntie. Many times we used to sing and play music. We said that someday our grandchildren would have the gift of music and it would bring them much joy. I have saved clippings and pictures from his early years. They are old now, but you can see some of what has made him who he is. Your father never came home after the war. There must have been awful things that happened to him. I wish that there would have been some way to find him. I guess that he did not stay in one place too long. I received money orders from him for many years, and they always came the first part of the month. He was always very good with finances. I have never lost faith in him. I trust that he will come back. Even as I am writing this letter, he is in my heart, and I will always love him. Auntie, I know that in your heart you'll learn to love him also and forgive him for not being there for you. Forgiveness makes you free.
With greatest love, Mom.
Oskari Koskinen receives full scholarship.
Olympic hopeful Oskari Koskinen cut short by World War. Soldier saved by a bootlace. All of these are about grandfather. It's incredible.
I'd like you all to meet Mr. Patrick O'Reilly. We all met not too long ago. When he called today, he said today's meeting was going to be very important.
Hello, everyone, and my heartfelt condolences on your loss of Oskari. Please, sit down. As Auntie said, my name is Patrick O'Reilly. The last time I saw you, I was looking for Oskari, and we finally met at Katarina's restaurant. While the meeting was for business, we had a great conversation. I learned a lot about all of you. He talked especially about his grandchildren. You, John, and Matt, and of course you, Lisa, and Victory. What a close brother you've been. And Hulda, what a great friend of the family you've been all these years. You must be wondering how I know so much about all of you.
Now I'm lost.
John, your grandfather showed me a picture that was taken last year at Lisa's birthday party. And you were all in that picture. You were all very important to him.
He was such an interesting man and a good storyteller.
That's true. Very interesting. Auntie, this was the first time I met with your father. And it was a good meeting. I had to keep it quiet then, but now I can tell you I represent Source Securities. We handle insurance, investments, stocks, and savings. Mr. Larson was a broker with our firm for 40 years and was Oskari's financial advisor and investor. Oskari trusted him, and it paid off, as you'll soon see. I was put on this case after Mr. Larson's recent retirement, and that's why I'm here.
Stocks? Savings? Investments? This is beyond my understanding. This is impossible to believe. My father finally came home. Victor and I went to the railroad station to pick him up. He had on an old flannel shirt, tattered pants, scruffy boots, and a sad-looking knapsack. He looked hungry. He looked lost. The only thing he said to me was, "Can you heat the sauna for me?" That was the first thing he did. He went to sauna.
Mr. O'Reilly, when we met you the first time, we were all thinking that our grandfather was involved in some sort of crime, and you and your associates were looking for him.
Sorry about that, Matt, but not in this case. Oscar's portfolio has an incredible history. He started with us in the late 1940s with very little money. And slowly, very slowly, and with determination,
Strong-minded with Sisu.
his self-sacrifice started to pay off. Mr. Larson told me that he never wanted to take any money for himself. Only money that he insisted stubbornly that was to be sent home monthly to his wife.
Now I know how my mother was able to keep the farm.
Mr. Larson and Oscar's guardian angels kept his money safe and growing. The 60s, 70s, and 80s were the best. Auntie, when I get all the final details, I'll get together with you to go over them.
My brother never kept secrets from me, but this one he did. How, I do not know.
I am so glad, Auntie, that I was able to get to know your father. And he complimented me on my cooking.
Auntie, can I use your table?
Please.
Our attorney drew up a will for Oscar, and there were some revisions that had to be made. That's why I was sent here, to go over the changes with him.
Oh, I don't know, I don't feel good. I think I need to sit. Is there something to drink or something stronger? Oh my God.
Yes, Hilda, I think you had better sit down.
Yes. Oh.
Oscar Koskinen left a will, and all of your names are in it. Auntie and Maya, your names are first. John, Matt, and Lisa, you'll have trust funds for your education.
Now we can go to music school. Very nice.
And at the age 30, you'll receive the rest of your share to be used according to your wishes.
Very nice.
Thank you, Lisa. Victory,
Yes.
you shall receive 1/2 of the family's farm.
Okay, great, that's great. Oh, boy.
And Hulda, the other half goes to you, including the sauna. And Oscar told me to tell you to heat the sauna often to keep Victory warm.
Oscar, how did you know? Now I'm going to help someone.
Don't faint. Please don't faint. Can I call you Aunt now?
Auntie, the balance of your father's estate goes to you and Maya and is worth over $2 million.
$2 million? Maya, wake me up. Give me a shot or something.
Auntie, I'll meet with you in a few days so that we can go over everything. I must say that this has been the most unforgettable experience of my career. I thank you for everything, and now I must say goodbye.
Thank you, Mr. O'Reilly. Let me show you to the door.
Wow. Grandfather really was there for us after all.
Thank you, grandfather and grandmother.
That is true. Thanks to both of you. Their dream came true so that we could have the gift of music in our lives. Now I finally understand.
Thank you for the gift, but the best treasure of all was the Hatbox.
think it very well. I know I personally missed a few lines, but it just went through, so I don't think the audience picked up on it, unless they come tomorrow. If they come tomorrow, then they'll realize that, hey, that wasn't the same line that he had yesterday. But other than that, I thought it was, well done. Well done.
How'd you do?
Good, it was fun.
Yeah, it was great.
Yeah, pumped to come do it tomorrow.
Awesome.
Great.
I thought the play was fantastic. I got all choked up because my daughter was awesome.
Yeah. You're on TV.
I am on TV. We love this play.
There you go.
We have ties with it. It's just my
Yes,
a lot of memories. Well, a lot.
How'd you like the play?
Great, good, great. Great job.
Great. What'd you think of Mark's music?
Wonderful. Yeah, wonderful.
Incredible music, yeah?
Certainly was. I gotta go graduate.
Such talent.
Yes.
All in one family.
Music, acting, everything out there, wasn't there, Ed?
I think it was super.
I bet you wish you were up there, huh?
Oh, I certainly do. Super.
Next time.
I'm very proud of my husband and my father-in-law. They did a great job. I love them both. Ayla did great on the bula. The bula ring is perfect. Much compliments.
Thank you, Hanu, for making us all feel good and reminding us about what's special and reminding us about the Hatbox and sharing our lives with our families. Thank you, Hanu. There we go.
Yeah, you've got to write more plays. You missed your niche. I'm telling you, the two of you should carry on and keep doing more. His music, oh, it's carried me away. I'm telling you. Wonderful. I'm going to go online and get the music.
I'd like to say that I'm so happy that I got a chance to do this play with my dad.
Who's getting that tape?
Very happy to be part of this. All these people came to see it. We must have had like 400 people. No, wait a second. Probably like around 700 people all together. It's been really great time. Thanks for looking.
Did you have dinner?
Yeah.
How was the dinner?
It's good.
Yeah? What'd you have?
We had
What
macaroni.
Macaroni.
Yeah, and cheese. How's that?
All right.
You got it in there?
I got it.
Okay. You want me to tell you?
Yes.
Okay. What do you want?
Huba peva.
Huba peva.
What does that mean?
Good day.
Good day. Who do you say it to?
Anybody.
Well, they're not going to understand you.
I put those two fans on. I'm wondering, do you think they'll affect you?
They'll understand. If you say good, you say anybody. People, when you as you're walking along, say huba peva.
Huba peva. Good day.
Huba.
Huba.
Peva.
And I say swami.
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 Ready?
Brothers and sisters, 70th birthday today. Please, let's sing a all happy birthday to him. Happy birthday to you. Happy birthday to you. Happy birthday, dear friend. Happy birthday to you.
What about the wine in the wine glasses? Bring that stuff down?
Yeah, you know what? I think those have a special, there might be a special round, but people are taking them down. I don't know.
I'm gonna go.
It was a very emotional, moving, beautiful production. It just went right to my heart.
Yeah, I enjoyed the play. Those actors are really good, you know.
That's why I had to buy tickets for the Sunday show because Saturday was sold out. But yeah, there's a lot of talent in the show. A lot of talent.
It's been a great ride, let me tell you.
You want to say hi to the camera?
Say hi.
Oh, hi.
But, you know, what I think helped me the most was when the, but I didn't.